tour, we invite you now to head over to the small gate over to my left so that you can traverse the area. So over by the gate, get your lights, get your search whatever on your, and you can head on over there. If you're not so bold and you really kind of feel going to Churchyard and it is like 8:15, she gonna be mad. I gonna go in a churchyard at a graveyard at 8:15. Well, if you're not so bold, we have refreshments on sale. There is a box with 2 fish cakes, 2 samosas, 2 sandwiches, some carrot sticks, some celery sticks, and a dip. And if you're for the healthy ones, we have some sandwiches, celery sticks, carrot sticks, and grapes in a package, so you can go on over there and buy. We have 2 ham sliders for $10. And look at the bold ones, look. Give them a round of applause. These are the ones that are bold enough to go on the tour. Mr. Topping, you're going on the tour, sir? All right. Anybody else? Oh, Mr. Michael, you're going on the tour. Nice. Okay. Look at these ladies, but he was like, I going, you going? I will go if you go. I only go if you go. Want to see, I know. It was like, how do you go? No, I'm sure. Does you see how they're driving? Anybody else going on the tour? Mr. Young, you're going on the tour. All right. Yes. So head on over. Morris and Claudette are down over by the gate. And we're doing right here. So the rest of us, you can go to the full tent. We also have cupcakes, by the way. So if you have a sweet tooth, there's chocolate cupcake, red velvet cupcake, vanilla cupcake, and for those with a special tooth, we have coconut and rum, or berries and chocolate. So those are special cupcakes that we have over by the food tent, and of course you can get your chips here at the front. And there's also another food tent and a bar over the other side. And if you just like a glass of wine, you can have that too. You can go on over and get your glass of wine. If you want to buy a bottle, if you're with a group, feel free to go on over and get your bottle of wine and your glass. So and those who are going on the tour, head on over, and in half an hour's time, we will be back to continue more of Jazz in the Yard 2025.
All right, good people. Welcome to this Torchlight tour and all go on for Jazz in the Yard. We're glad to have you and such a lovely song. Now let's start by giving you a short history as it relates to the people who are buried in this graveyard. The original St. Michael's Church, the first church in the city, was located right here in this space, actually to the west wall. Okay, it was a small wooden building, and then by 1665, it has people. It's outgrown the people. Too many people in the church. It has outgrown capacity, and with that, some lands were given on St. Michael's Row by a man called Colonel William Sharp, and the Church of St. Michael would move to that location at St. Michael's Row. That is now what we know as the Cathedral of St. Michael and All Angels. With that moving in that direction, this place becomes vacant. The little building, they're keeping vestry meetings in that building, and social events are happening here. This becomes known as the Old Churchyard. So a few white people would have been buried here that would have been here with the old first church. But the majority of the people who are buried here, because it started to be the burial space for people who were colored people, black people, and these are free people, these are merchants, these are entrepreneurs. And these are the kind of people that we're going to talk about tonight.
Anything you want to say? Yes, it is fun. Thanks for coming, ladies and gentlemen.
I should have said I thought that was my turn. I'm sorry.
They all know your voice. You hear it almost every day on this day in history. This night in history, we're going to talk a little bit about people who live around here. And some of the people that might not be able to see their graves today because some of them we don't know where they are. Just want to give you a little bit of what happened in the 1980s. That road was waiting. A lot of the graves that were on the side of the road, some of them are still on the sidewalk. But most of them are still on the pavement. And those people whose names were well known, some of them kept people that want to make for a long time.
Excuse me, Mr. Greenwich. Would it be better if you stood in the middle? We can hardly hear back here.
Are you hearing me well?
Was that you talk? No, you talk.
Hey,
Yes.
I always have to take care of him, you know.
I'm sorry, yes, so I'm going to show you at least one lady whose gravestone is mobile. It stays inside the church because we haven't found some place to put it. We put it there in the family. We heard of that. But this entire area of Lower Bridgetown, by the way, the western wall of St. Mary's was the western wall of the city. The sea was there. The sea was there.
There was no Funky Bell.
There was nothing behind there until the 17th, 18th hurricane. After that hurricane, all of a sudden the water started to recede. We had what became on bottom. We had what became the Lake's Gardens. And he was such an outrageous man that tried too soon to sell the land. The next rainfall, it turned to folly. And therefore, as the Lake's folly, so it's Lake's Gardens. Right? And then around 1800, as the lands are receding, there's a little bit of land coming over the sea as well. We don't call it that is not really all part of the history of this city. This is the end of the city. The western wall, that's the sea wall, the huge wall. They rebuilt after this trip, we built it in 1835. Right.
Okay, so there's a start with two priests that were, both of them were working at this church. They weren't from this church, but we're going to start looking at the priests, and Mr. British is going to show, I will lead and take us to the places, and then he will talk to
Let's sit right here. Right here. In between the stand.
This is the grave of Reverend Walter Henry Fairweather. He was stationed at St. George,
St. Luke's.
St. Luke's, St. Luke's
From
Anglican
1969
Church.
to 72.
Oh, right, 1969 to 72. We have a historian here with us.
Yes,
You
yes.
lived in that area?
My father's from that area.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is Reverend Fairweather here. Mr. Greenwich?
And then he was at St. Lucie afterwards, from 72 to 82.
Okay.
Wait, from 69 to 72. Wait.
Go ahead, Maurice.
St. Lucie.
This was the real many, many priests. The other side of the church, there are at least 15 priests from all over the diocese.
Yes, but he was at St. Luke's first, from 1957
Right, but tell
to
us the story. Do you
69.
know any stories about Reverend Fairweather?
I have the book home with St. Luke's Church and
So you don't know the story? So give us a story. that's St. Luke's, the vicarage there, coming to town. He gets the Bumpy factory, not Bumpy, Bumpy. He gets the Bumpy factory, and he tells the driver, look, turn back. Somebody has gone into the parsonage, broken into the parsonage. The driver turns around and they go back to the church. And lo and behold, there's a man who climbed through the window and got him. Last story I had last story. One man stole from the vicarage. Reverend told him to go and bring back those bananas that he stole. The man put the bananas on his head and brought them back. And when he got there, he attempted for some time to take that kind of bananas off his head. Could not get them in. They were kind of like stuck in his head until the Reverend yes, so that was the kind of character that he was very, very interesting man. And I do understand those things, but I'm trying to understand. Every time I get someone to talk to me, I talk about. What's the name?
This family, I guess. Stepmom? Oh, okay.
Esoteric word. There you go.
Yes.
What is called like
Canon W.G. Murray, Vicar of St. Mary's Church for 29 years, died the 10th of December 1944, and of Margaret Elcott Murray, died the 28th of November 1967.
He was a priest here for many years, rector of this parish. And he is one of those, what were the years again?
29 years. He died in 1944, the 10th of December.
He died in 1940.
They don't have a date on here.
He was 29 years.
He was preaching for 29 years.
39 years and ended in 44. Murray was here for quite a long time. Just after he then would have been Matushan Hills. Yes. So, okay, we have two. Let's go on the other side.
We're going to walk in this direction toward the gate.
Not she will find.
Okay, so you can see that's right here.
Tell you to take more for that one.
Both of those. Yeah, you hold over that. Come on. Come to Mark. We are now at the grave site of the Cullimore family. Amaris Cullimore was an enslaved woman. She was an enslaved woman, and she was owned by her sister. A lot of the time when you have three colored people, and you know that they own slaves, people is basically own enslaved people. So what they would do is own their families so that they could free them. Understand what they were trying to do? Right. And yes, as well. So Amaryllis was a free color, an enslaved woman, and note that every black person, every slave in Barbados was not a black person. We had colored enslaved people as well. Right? So every slave was not necessarily black. some of them were colored. So Amaryllis would have lived in this area here. Her sister, Rebecca Phillips, would have been the person who owned her. There were three hotels located in this building that we erroneously call the old Hall building, right? And there were three hotels there. Rebecca Phillips was one of the female hoteliers. This entire area here was called the Hotel District. Okay? So many hotels around here, and a lot of them ran by colored women. So her sister, she would have lived there with her sister. She's an enslaved woman. She's a white plantation owner called Robert Culliver. Robert Culliver owned Hackett Hall Plantation, where the Barbados Community College sits, especially in the morning side, the eastern side of that place. That's where he owned. And he would have 5 children with her while she's still an enslaved woman. And then he buys her out of slavery from her sister. They have 6 more. So ladies and gentlemen, he is very children, right? And Amaryllis is said to have died in 1828. Now, the interesting thing about the 1800s is that he was able to buy her out of slavery, and she and her children lived in the plantation until they decided to sell or to do whatever they needed to do. In instances like the 1700s, that did not apply. If he didn't buy them out of slavery, whoever that plantation owner might have been, the women and the children went back to slavery. Right? But California did it a little bit differently. The time period in which he lived allowed for that. So Amaryllis became a free woman, and her children, by extension, became free. Now, also buried here, this is their family plot, apparently, and also buried here is an Allen E. Sinclair Cullimore, which was one of her relatives. Morris tells me that this man read the Riot Act during the 1937 riots across Bridgetown.
You see this little thing here, and it's just so pedestrian and significant. You won't believe that this was the CJ at the time. He was the first, not the first non-white, because the first non-white was from Greens, century before that. But between from Greens and him, there were no other non-white chief justices. That's 1800 and 1900. So he was chief justice until 1950. When Stoney or one of them others took over. But Alan Cullimore, Alan E. Cullimore, Alan Cullimore, in fact, he was the man who read the Riot Act. It's a tough thing for him to do, but he was the only one who could, in the face of the unrest that was really set up by the plantocracy in those days. Because you had the abolition, you had the Boston Revolution, you had the announcement of freedom, which did not happen because they passed the other acts, like the Located Laborers Acts and so on, that tied you to your plantation, and the Masters and Servants Acts, that you could not leave plantation. You had to work every day until Sunday. And in crop time, you work every day, including Sundays. So it was a tough time. And in fact, real wages between 1834 and 1838 and 1937 actually went backwards. Wages did not come forward. So they were right for some kind of uprising that happened in 1937. He was the man bringing the right act.
And I might add that slavery would have officially come to an end on paper in 1838, 1st of August, 1838. You know how we celebrate Emancipation Day every 1st of August. But 100 years old, 1837, July, so we say 100 years after the 100 lost years, after Emancipation, people who were in Barbados were still living in abject poverty, and it didn't look like slavery we had here. For that facilitated the rebellion of 1937. Alright, so we're gonna. Oh, there's a house right there. Okay, so let's move on here. Could you play up for us? Okay. Morris, what do you want to hear? Come around this way. Come around. We didn't have to get trees cut, we were trying to get these trees cut a little bit. But Morris is going to talk here. We have the grave underneath this tree of Carolyn Barrow in the Carolyn. No, not Lady Prince. He's not sir. So Carolyn Barrow and Leslie Barrow are buried under a nice little grave here under this tree, which we're not able to see because the branches are there. So Morris, go on that.
Can anyone tell us who is Carolyn Barrow?
Our Barrow's wife. Our Barrow, the first Prime Minister's wife.
Yeah?
And
First lady.
yeah. It's down here, it's a little small grave down here. She was born in 1917 and died in 2001. Is that under here?
Carolyn and Leslie, mother and daughter.
Under here. It was under here. I went to here a few weeks ago and it was under here. Okay, right here. Look. Okay, it's right here. It's right here. It's right here.
Right here.
Mother and daughter buried right here. Leslie buried right there.
Try to signal by the lights.
Yeah.
Who was Leslie? Is that the daughter?
Leslie Barrows' daughter. That was our Barrows' daughter. She used to work at CDC years ago.
Leslie or the mother?
Leslie is the daughter and Carolyn is the mother.
Yeah, which one work at CDC?
Leslie.
Leslie.
Yes.
And the son, there's a son still alive?
I think they had a son, but I'm not sure the son. But that, yeah. He's still alive?
Yeah.
Okay. Leslie died in 2008.
Somebody was telling us.
2009.
2008. Leslie died in 2008.
Let's go the other way now.
It's over here to the
Looking down when you walk. Our hair might be a little bit tricky.
The Motley's grave now. The most interesting one.
Come with us.
The Motley's grandparents.
Keep looking
Yeah,
down.
this is one.
Don't walk on this board.
So you start there.
Yeah. Don't walk on this board, right?
Forget that. Let's come around here from the wood. How many of you know about Ernest Guyton Motley?
The mayor of Bridgetown.
The mayor of Bridgetown and what else?
City father.
Just watch the board.
City father.
Right. No.
City father.
City father.
He helped a lot of poor people, give them clothes and so on in the park.
So what is his connection to today?
Worst could have been slavery.
Yes. He was the grandfather of the Prime Minister, and next to him is his wife, which is her grandmother. Ernest Guyton Motley was a politician. He was a part of the Electors Party, a conservative party in Barbados.
Oh.
So he was a member of the House
Okay.
of Assembly.
Come here.
You're there? Okay. Go ahead. He was also the mayor of Bridgetown for a number of years. What else do you want to add, Morris?
He was, of course, he was so well known. Actually, Ernest Guyton Motley left Barbados and went overseas and got his education, secondary education in New York. Came back home really as a man about town. Very involved with matters legal. In those days, you could be amicus curiae without university training. And he was one of those people who was always in the courts. In fact, his family owned one of the legal houses in the city. And he became very popular. And by popular acclaim, he was not only mayor of the city of Bridgetown for many, many years, but also representative for the city of Bridgetown. And remember that also Bridgetown itself became a constituency only, it was the last constituency in the island, only in 1843.
Yes, 1843, when Samuel Jackson Prescott became one of the representatives under that double representative system.
So here you see the Motleys. let us turn to our right, or do we go back left and around?
All right, wait for me to get ahead of you.
Yes.
We're gonna walk over the bridge here. Oh, we're gonna go to the Barclay tomb in this direction. Just come this way, guys. Thank
Just
you.
don't sit on the board, just come around. Yeah.
Keep looking down.
If you were poor and you you're very
Let's gather around this tomb, and Morris is going to speak on this.
The Barclay family. The Barclay.
Still working on that.
The Barclay family tomb. The Barclay family as a whole is a work in progress. I have been researching this for probably 30 years. Still not got to the bottom of it. The man got there before. He actually got into the wall.
Family wall.
See, whatever you old, but I can't really count. There's nothing on it. Looks like the name. The door's sealed off. I'm not checking.
This story by huge mahogany in the 2011.
2015. 2011.
Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock, not a car, not a human being, not a bicycle passing the street. And a tree went straight across into the Jubilee Gardens. Nobody except the ones that did. The tomb was shattered. And the verse from the home, the task of creating the story of the fact that you just put the other thing, the names of people on
Well, on December 7th, there's only about one person listed in here, but we would have found what, 9 caskets in there? 9 coffins? Yes, but it says, here lies the remains of Catherine Husband Barclay, daughter of George W. Barclay, and Francis his wife, who departed this life the 15th of April 1852, aged 11 years and 7 months. So only she's listed, but there are many others in here.
But this is sealed
11 stretch across like this, from this side to that side. And there were 2 at the 2 ends, the children in arms of adults. One here, one on the other side. So, who are these Barclays? Again, we mentioned the fact that not too many whites are buried here after 1665. The Barclay family that was here, from inferences, we have not been able to find it yet in that way, but we think that this is part of the family that eventually went out to Liberia, some of them.
No, you're not.
We think so. Not sure. Because one of them came here about 10 years ago, and we tried to work out that we had no idea of the ones who were here. But we know that James Barclay, who was here in 1830, 1840, owned Springfield in St. Joseph, Springfield Plantation. That's the plantation of the silica sand. We also know that he married into the Campion family. The Campions are the people who brought photography to Barbados. So when you see the street scenes, and you see men standing at the street corners and elaborate photograph of Broad Street or wherever, that's a Campion photo. That's his signature. And he married into that family. Now, we talk about Campaign Castle, it's Campion Castle.
That's in Georgia.
Those are the people. So this is the rotation. And then the Antons. So we have Barclay and Campion. Now, James Barclay came to town, and we know that he had another relationship in the city. And we suspect that from that relationship, the name Husband's came. We know that there was a Mary Husbands who lived in Swan Street, which apparently was also the townhouse of James Barclay. And I infer that when James Barclay left Barbados, he had about 10 children from this other woman. He must have been a very tired man. But he went back, he did not die in Barbados, so you don't find his name here. But his offspring, who are the colored offspring, not the white offspring, from Womanston and Campion Castle. Campion Castle is between Windsor
And Bridgetown.
and Edgecombe. Right?
Yeah, you're not really good at the St. Philip in the BFE bus. When you pass the Body Hall. Yeah, that's St. John. But you know when you go up, you know what Body Hall is? When you go up, instead of going towards Fair Pilgrim, keep straight up if you go to 6 Road. There's a road there to carry back to like Windsor and Brighton. You go all the time. Right, you get that from Brighton Market instead of going back towards Salters to go back towards Buxley. In the making. But I study it. Yes, please.
Okay, so let's hustle on because they're going to start jazz again. So we're going to go over the
No,
bridge
please.
here.
I got to do research on these historic
Just
places.
got a few
Keep looking
more.
down.
Yes. Yes, please.
And
So
so you
welcome to
another
this
child?
historic tour. Yes. And to do the you didn't like walk through the churchyard.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're going to start again, so we've got to,
Just do 2 and we go.
yeah. So you can talk about Hannah Lewis here.
Looking down. Turn to your right.
No, my
Hannah
father
Lewis
from
was
St.
one of
John.
the hoteliers that we spoke about.
My father was
Originally, we talked about Rebecca Phillips,
Catchmore, that sings.
Cullimore's
My
family.
father.
And by the way,
Yes.
Amaryllis Cullimore would have been the progenitor of, what's at the Grand Salle, what we have?
Frank
Cullimore. So she would have been the progenitor of Frank Cullimore.
And she has here in Barbados right now another downline who's 107 years old. That is Enid Cullimore Woodstock, who is the mother of Riley Woodstock, Riley Margaret.
Right.
107 years old.
Okay. So now, Morris, just.
Now here is Hannah Messiah. Hannah Messiah is another of the hotel women of the area, and here is her grave. And somebody read that for us
Right
again?
here, sorry, right here.
Come on, read it. Can't hear you.
In affectionate remembrance of our dearly beloved mother, we place this tablet to mark the mortal remains of her who was ever kind and dear to us. Mrs. H. Messiah, expired at her residence, Cumberland Street, 30th of August, 1872, at the advanced age of 96 years.
That's good.
So Hannah is another of the hotel women. She also had carried the business. Step over here. Or step over. We see the last one this way. Keep looking down.
Go on, go this way. Straight ahead. Shine your lights on this one.
Samuel Jackman Prescott's grave.
Somebody gonna tell me what is written here?
National hero Samuel Jackman Prescott.
What is it?
He died a judge of the Assistant Court of Appeal, where he administered even handed justice without reference to class or condition. In affectionate remembrance, this stone is sorrowfully inscribed by his afflicted widow. And this is the grave of
Samuel Jackman
our
Prescott.
national hero,
Okay, want to say that again?
Samuel
Samuel
Jackman
Jackman
Prescott.
Prescott.
This is the most important of our national heroes. Very important man. You find his picture on the $20 bill, and he did everything he could to make sure that slavery ended.
He
So
was,
he lived next door here.
Right.
Right to
in
the
this building
foundations of
back
the
here.
school.
And across the street, there is his business. He was the editor of a newspaper called The Liberal. He had his newspaper business there. So the John has to get a lot fighting up and down the ladder from colored people to black people up and down to and bring slavery to them. He was a very, very important figure. His father was a white man. He was very rich, sent him away to England to go to school. And Samuel Butler said, "No, this place is cool for me." Came back here and started doing actually some significant work as it related to.
I think they're just putting it here and then adjusted it later on.
Right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very again, thank you for coming.
You're very welcome. Thank you, guys.
Anybody with a blue
Enjoy the
ticket?
rest.
Walk carefully.
You too, yeah?
918561. If you can't see any light, that's all right. We understand. Come on, look in
Thank
the
you.
light.
Thank you. You're very welcome.
That's it.
918561. All right, we're still waiting to find out when the cornerstone was laid. We have another prize this evening, a Sunday buffet. Look. Call the number again, 918561. You got it? You got it. Come then. And he had the light from the phone. He said, "Man, call it again." And she's coming, look. Don't hold it up too high. Don't hold up the skirt too high. Good night, man. Let's see. 918561, you're the winner. What is your name? Glenda, this is yours. Dinner at Sea Breeze Hotel. Enjoy it. Every moment, and it's a barbecue, so you can lick your nose. Okay, 918561. You can hold those two for me. Now, we're going to make another draw for Sunday buffet at Golden Sands. Sunday buffet at Golden Sands. So pull a ticket. Let's see. Oh, look, they came back from the tour. And nobody is here is standing on end. So it must have been a good tour. Carolyn, it was good? It was great, she said. Wanda, you good? Okay, and your hair is still in place. All right. So everybody walking back, we're all good. Nobody got spooked. Nobody got stepped into any strange hole. So we're drawing for Golden Sands ticket. Okay, let me get this one right. 140. Mr. Toppin, sir, the tour was good? It was scary? Mr. Toppin was scared. 140. It's a black ticket. A black ticket. Okay, we need to take your name. Let me see. 140. All right, what is your name? Carson Haynes. Carson, would you go around the corner? And Pat, would you take Mr. Haynes' number, phone, name, number, and he will have his prize of Sunday buffet at Golden Sands. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. We will have you back. We have 2 more prizes to draw a little later on. But right now, those who went on the tour are back. So we move on to our first performer in the second half. And this young lady started singing back in the 80s with the Richard Stout Teen Talent Competition, believe it or not. And then in the 90s, she was performing on the hotel circuit. And she was working with a band, and they won the Hotel of the Year award. So you know we're talking good quality here. She was also second in the Barbados Queen of Song competition. And her talent and her passion now have taken her all over the world. She sang on a number of cruise lines, going throughout Europe. She sang with an Italian orchestra. She taught herself